going to go on to Harry and
The Raising and Giving Officer develops fundraising opportunities for students and covers some of UC's biggest events. From raising money in freshers to hosting and organising Rag Week, they are dedicated to ensuring our rag charities receive funds that keep their services alive.
On 1350 AM and online, this is URY. I'm Chris Moore, and I'm interviewing Eleanor Shaw, who is running to be the Raising and Giving Officer, part-time officer for her in this UC election. So let's just start the interview with Eleanor, what has your involvement in RAG been like so far, and why have you chosen to run?
Hi, so currently this year I have been acting as treasurer for the current RAG committee. I've chosen to run mainly because we've had so many good ideas as a committee this year which haven't been able to be fulfilled because of COVID, that I thought, kind of just to keep this year's committee going, if I was to run then, we might be able to have sort of the events that we had planned this year going on next year.
That's excellent. That takes me quite neatly on to my next question, because I was going to ask how the pandemic has influenced your manifesto.
Yeah, so definitely, like I say, the fact that a lot of the current events that we were planning haven't happened has just kind of left Raising and Giving this year in a bit of a different position to what we would all have expected. So obviously next year I'm wanting to do more of the treks and challenges that just couldn't go ahead at all this year. Working with the companies that we found, whose names I can't remember off the top of my head, but the companies that we found this year who would have been doing treks and challenges for us, because we found some new ones, some sort of really exciting ones that obviously haven't been fulfilled, but I think it's a really good opportunity to kind of double the ideas for the next year.
So you're hoping for next year to be a bit of a bumper year for Raising and Giving, but
yeah.
Given that you come into office in the summer term, do you have any plans for what Raising and Giving could be doing that term as we go through the loosening of restrictions phase of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it all massively depends on how quickly they're loosened, sort of the timeline of that. I think it's really important not to kind of get too ahead of ourselves when we're planning for things like that. But I've lost my train of thought. But obviously this year we've been doing sort of like collaborations with societies, working with societies to host quizzes, online events, things like that. So obviously that'd be really nice to be able to do it in person with the goal of fundraising for Raising and Giving. So yeah, those sorts of events would be really nice to be able to put on, sort of the smaller, more low-key events that can then hopefully become bigger events when that's allowed.
Yeah, do you see these events as an opportunity not just to engage people who are already involved in Raising and Giving, but get some new people involved as well?
Yeah, definitely. So that's one of the things that I'm really keen on, is getting Raising and Giving to be more well-known, more sort of taken up by people at the University of York. I think at the moment it's more of a small thing, but I think it really does have the potential to become more of a sort of common thing that people are involved in.
So your manifesto spoke a lot about improving communications. How do you hope to improve communications?
So I think a lot of it is about being able to get the information of what Raising and Giving is doing to students. I think it'd be really great if we could get a Raising and Giving newsletter, even if it's just a termly one. That'd be ideal, so we could sort of outline the opportunities that are available and give.
Thank you for coming on. We're all out of time, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
Thank you for coming on. It's been great having you on. And we're going to the green room.